Hey guys, this is Mrs. Curl.
And Mr. Hines.
And today we're going to talk to you about measures of central tendency. And that's just a fancy way of saying
mean, median, and mode, and range.
So you should have a little foldable inside your IMB, and we want to turn to the mean flap. We're going to copy that down first. So open up your mean flap and copy this down, pause the video, and get it copied. All right, so mean means we are going to take the average. And average, to find the average of something, all you have to do is
find the sum of all the numbers in the set, which is adding.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to divide that number by the number of add-ins.
So you just add them all up and divide by how many numbers are in the set.
Right.
All right. So you can close that one up. And the next one we want to go to is median. So open that flap. And the median is the one in the
middle.
And I always think about that like a street has a median that goes down the center of the street, that concrete strip. And
trees grow there.
Yeah. Sometimes they'll make it pretty. So that is the median.
Okay.
And the median, you're going to order the numbers from least to greatest, find that middle number. Now, if there are two middle numbers, then take the average of those two middle numbers.
So I'd have to add those two numbers and divide by 2.
That's right. If the middle one doesn't come out perfect, then you have to find the average of that. All right, and the other side is mode. Let me slide over this way. And again, you guys pause the video to take notes when needed. Mode is the one
that happens the most often.
Modes. To me, they sound alike, so that's how I remember that. And again, it's the one that's there the most often. I love finding the mode.
That's the easiest.
It is the easiest one. And the last one is the range. And range, you find your largest number minus your smallest number. And that's the range of numbers that you have. So again, fancy terms, it says.
So the difference between the largest and smallest number in a set.
All right, so guys, the important thing about, I don't think I can get all of these in my camera, but you have them all here. I'm just going to kind of lift up for just a second. The important things about those 4 definitions is keeping them straight.
Yeah.
That's where everybody gets confused. We know how to find the average. We know how to find the one in the middle. We know the most. We know how to subtract and find the range, but we get confused on which one is the mean, which one is the median, which one is the mode.
Right.
So you have to keep them straight in your head.
So we have to study them.
Yeah, you have to memorize them, basically, is what it comes down to. Use our little tricks and hints to help you with that.
Okay.
All right, so the next thing is we would like for you to, again, pause the video and take down these little notes here. We have another definition for you. It's called an outlier, a value much greater or less than the others in a data set.
Okay. And then when an outlier is present, median is the best measure of center. And when an outlier is not present, mean is the best measure of center.
All right. So again, pause the video if you need to get those definitions down. So outlier is when you have like a group of numbers and one number just doesn't fit in with all of our numbers.
It just sticks out.
And what happens is if we're doing that and we take the mean, if we're taking the average of those numbers, if I have one really large number and all my other numbers are small, it messes up my data. And the whole reason we do mean, median, mode, and range is for that data, is to find out what's happening, to see a pattern with our numbers. That's why we do this. So just remember, if an outlier is present, we want to use the median. If an outlier is not present, then you can use the mean.
Okay.
All right, so let's take all this information and let's do an example, guys. So I have a data set, and my data set is 3, 4, 2, 4, 1, and 4. All right, so the first thing I want to do is find the mean. So let me see, I'm going to pull this up. Sorry, Mr. Hines, I got a little off there. So if I want to find the mean,
which is the average.
So I am going to add these numbers up. So I'm going to do 3 plus 4 plus 2 plus 4 plus 1 plus 4.
Okay.
And I'm going to divide it by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay, so the numbers I add together are called add-ins.
Yeah, these are all my add-ins. So I just add the set of data that I'm given, and then I divide by how many are in my set, and I count those.
So if there was a 5 or a 2 here, then I would divide by 7, not 6.
Yeah, if I had more numbers added in, then that's what I would divide. It just
Alright.
depends on how many are in your set.
Sounds good.
So then I just solve this. I add those up and I get 18 divided by 6, which is 3. So my mean is 3. All right. The next one we want to find is let's find the mode. I always like finding the mode. I told you that at the beginning because it is the one that happens
Most often?
the most often. So I look at my numbers and I say, is there one that's happening the most often? That's there the most?
Looks like 4 to me.
Yeah, 4, 4, and 4. So it's there the most. So my mode,
So we don't have
This
to
one.
add, subtract, we don't have to do
No.
anything crazy?
that's why I
We
like
just
it.
have to count.
I
Okay.
just have to count. All right, the next one is the median. And remember, median is that one that is in the
Middle.
that one that's in the middle.
Oh, we're supposed to arrange the numbers from least to greatest too, aren't
That's
we?
right. I can't find the one in the middle. I can't just look at my data set. I have to put them in order from least to greatest. So I'm going to go 1, 2. Now, what I like to do when I'm doing this is I grab another color pen. I like to kind of mark them off or put little check marks by them to make sure I don't forget one. So
yeah.
1, 2, 3, and then I'll like mark off that little 3, and then I know I have 3 4s. And so,
So we have to put all the repeating numbers, like
yes.
all 3 4s.
And look, and then I even do a little double count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay.
Because I can't tell you how many times you forget a number. And you do all this work and you miss the easy ones because you forget a number.
Something simple.
Yeah. So now I have to find the one in the middle. So I just start marking them out. Those two. Well, there are 2 in the middle. So when there are 2 in the middle, that is when we take that average that we were talking about up there in your notes, where it says if 2 numbers are in the middle, then you take the average. So I am going to take the average of 3 and 4. So I'm going to do 3 plus 4 and just divide that by 2.
Okay.
And that gives me 7 over 2, which is 3.5. So that is my median, 3.5.
Okay.
All right, so I found mean, median, mode. Let's find the range. And for the range, I take the
Largest number
largest number, which is 4,
and subtract the smallest number.
and subtract the smallest number, which is 1. So my range is
3.
3. Oops, can you tell that's a 3? 3. Now, let's talk about this with our outliers. So we said an outlier is a value that is much greater or less than the others in the data set. Are any of our numbers here way out there, or are they all kind of clustered together?
I would say they're clustered together.
That's right. So there's no outlier. So it says right here, when an outlier is not present, mean is the best measure of center. So I'm going to put a little star down here, and I'm going to say mean is the best measure of center.
So when it says up at our title, it says measures of central tendencies. So that means that in this set, the tendency is to be close to 3.
That's right. The tendency is that our data is close to 3. And that's what we're trying to figure out is companies use this information all the time when they're trying to find, again, information about their products, who's buying what, or how much should something cost. You use this information to help you make wise decisions when your company is just the first thing that came to my head as an
Okay.
example. But you can use it, sports use it all the time. They use this
batting
central.
average.
Yeah, you're finding the batting average. You find out how you rank compared to other people.
Okay.
And that's kind of what this is talking about.
All right.
All right, so let's come over here to the other side, and we have a you try it. We want you, now these are test scores, so I want you to find that is 95, 80, 85, 60, 85. And we want you to find the mean, median, mode, and range. And I also want to know what is the best measure of center. So pause the video and figure those out, and then we'll check your work. All right, so let's look at these. For the mean, you add those numbers up and you're going to divide by 5 because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers in my set.
Okay.
So that's 405 divided by 5, which is 81. So you should have a mean of 81.
All right.
Now the median, what do you have to remember to do with that median, Mr. Hines? First,
we need to put them in order.
That's
From
right.
least to greatest.
Can't do it unless you put them in order. And then you tick
And then you
those
just
off.
go find center.
And look at that. There's only one in the centers.
So we don't always have to find an average.
No, this one comes out nice and pretty where it comes right down to 1 in the very middle. So my median is 85. Which one is happening the most often?
85.
85. And my range is my largest number minus my smallest number, which is 35. Now, my question is what is my center of, best measure of center? So as I look at this, do you think there's an outlier in this set of numbers, Mr. Hines?
I would say 60 is an outlier.
I would too, because the other ones are A's and B's, they're passing,
Right.
and 60 is failing. Now, I do have to tell you guys, outliers can sometimes be subjective, like is it an outlier in certain, and a lot of it has to do with, well, what is the data of? So this is test
It
scores.
depends on the context.
Yeah, yeah. So what am I looking at? So 60 is an outlier. So when an outlier is present, then your median is the best measure of center. So that tells me my median, this one, 85, is my best measure of center. That's going to give me the best idea. And you can see the mean is
Fairly close.
Yeah, they are pretty close in this one, but when it comes down to it, because of that 60, that was kind of a bad test for that kiddo for
Right.
that one. One bad one. All right, so we have one practice problem that we want you guys to do. Find the mean, median, mode, and range of this group of numbers. And I also want to know the measure of center. So maybe I should write that right here. Measure of center. Because I do want you to find that one also. And the numbers are
73, 77, 85, 84, 37, 115.
all right, guys, have a great day.